Hello, everyone. My name is Dio Morales, your host of the Gold Squadron podcast, and we're coming to you live from the top 16 of the Space Jam Los Angeles premiere event tournament, guys. I know that we got people in lockdown. I know that there's crazy things happening in the world right now, but you know what we're here to do? We're here to enjoy some X-Wing today, get a little bit of relaxation, have some fun. Hopefully you are too. My co-host for this event, who's been doing an awesome job, is
Ryan Staniszewski, and you're so nice to him.
You know what? It's what I do. It's what I do. I'm super excited today. I want to see the chat right now go ahead and choose their champion. So if you've never played Choose Your Champion, it's a fun game we play here on Gold Squadron Podcast. Basically, who do you think is going to win the game? Who do you want to win this game? When you are a viewer on Gold Squadron Podcast, you are given points, GSP points. You could check your balance by typing !points in the chat, and you can use those and wager them against other players by choosing your champion. How do you choose your champion? Well, you're going to type !bet, B-E-T. You're going to put a space, and then you're going to type 1 or 2. 1 is a vote for the player on the left. 2 is a vote for the player on the right. So 1 for Ben, 2 for Stefan, 1 for the Rebels, 2 for the Empire. Then you put another space, and then you bet how many of your points do you want to wager against the game. All right, it's a fun way just to participate, and you can use the points, your winnings, or just what you've earned by watching to trigger some awesome on-screen animations. You can check your options by typing !loyalty. Just some of the fun things we let you guys do here on the stream. Also, this round and all of our rounds are brought to you by Curl Paw Creatives. Use that coupon code SpaceJam2020 for 20% off so that you are ready to play in style when we can get back to the table in person, which I am looking forward to. All right, Ryan, let's go ahead and break down these lists.
So we have Ben Roberts running the Rebel Alliance using Wedge, Thane, Nora, and Zeb Aurelios in the attack shuttle carrying Leia Organa. So minimal upgrades, obvious servomotor S-foils on the X-Wings. Just giving 3 I-5 ships a little more better efficiency on those K-turn and turnaround turns, with Zeb still providing 3 attack dice. So just a solid Rebel 4-ship salad. And then we have Steven Sesnick from Florida Man. Running, if you saw in Swiss, he was playing this 2 Phantoms and a Palp shuttle. So we got Emperor Palpatine on an Omicron group Lambda. We got Echo with Trick Shot and Collision Detector, so very squirrely and using those obstacles to Echo's advantage. And a Whisper with passive sensors, 5th brother, normally standard for her, with Stealth Device, which is common with the backup with Palpatine, and Outmaneuver.
Yeah, so Steven's one loss yesterday came on our stream where he had a play with Whisper who ended up just getting popped really early on in the game, and there was a struggle after that. I'm excited to see how he plays out this game, obviously fighting past that loss and getting into the top 16. You know, one of the things I want to talk about right now is you see Ben Roberts has a ship that you usually don't see played. There is some negative publicity around Thane Kyrell because, you know, people say, oh, his ability is quote unquote bad. But I mean, you can't undervalue just an Initiative 5 X-Wing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, orange numbers are good sometimes if they come on a cheap enough platform. Thane's only 48 points, which, granted, is pretty close to a quarter of your list, but if you're working with 4-ship lists and you haven't really found that that high 40-ish point range, Thane's a definite viable option if you want to stick with those I-5 and above.
And pretty cool to see Zeb Aurelios in the attack shuttle carrying that Leia Organa crew. It's one of the cheaper ways to get Leia out there, but also just the choice of, like, he could have taken something like AP5, but having that 3-dice gun is, I wonder how much we're going to see Ben actually bring Zeb into the battle.
Well, as we see here, we have almost Nora shielding that space for Zeb. Although in movement order, it's going to be a little more difficult to handle Zeb moving before Nora. We'll have to see how Ben decides to space them out so he still has the maneuvering he needs to put Zeb's shot in contention without Nora getting herself in the way of that, or requiring Nora to do unnecessary barrel rolls in previous turns so Zeb is open to move.
Yeah, we might see Zeb maybe moving faster than Nora next turn. That way Nora and Zeb can actually start banking together. But we'll have to see. And then the other choice with Thane, obviously, it's obvious that Luke is better at Initiative 5. But with what Ben wants to do, he doesn't have the points to fit Luke in there, which is probably the reason why you get Thane. And also, I mean, Nora's ability, you can't sleep on that one if you're not familiar with it. When she's at range 0 to 1 of an enemy ship and she's being attacked, when she's defending, she just adds an evade result to her roll. Just free evade, essentially, put on top of it, which is really good, can make her really tanky. And, of course, Arc 170s, having both of those arcs, the front and the back, available, usually can keep some pretty good time on target.
Yeah, and if there's one thing we've seen, adding results in this game is very rare. If that's something as easy to trigger as just being in a range band, especially with a larger ship size, Nora in the Arc is definitely a lot better than Nora in a Y-Wing. And we saw yesterday in a matchup that just the base chassis of the Arc 170 is very solid. Just a big bruiser.
Absolutely.
One thing in terms of maneuvering right now that I'm seeing and how Ben's spreading them out, his rebel list, you have Nora kind of clogging up and staying in the middle in the 2X wings on the outside. I'm curious to see what Thane is going to do, because Thane could be picked off. Here comes Whisper moving forward, trying to get that pick and get some nice damage on Thane early. Echo's keeping space from Wedge. It was just really weird in the beginning how Ben had Nora, Zeb, and Wedge moving up that board edge, but Thane's still kind of just working around in the middle. So yeah, he's turning Thane away, which is the smart move at this point. I don't know if that's going to hurt him in the long run to have Thane's back turn to the opponent and be able to get him back in the fight. We could see an early K-turner Talon roll from Thane. Yeah, so he can get back in faster.
Really quickly, I noticed that on the overlay we have the colors for Wedge and Thane flipped. So, Johnny, when you have a second, go ahead and get those fixed. So, yeah, Wedge is yellow and Thane is red. So yeah, so Wedge was the one giving the escort to Nora and Zeb there. As for some of the other abilities, Zeb's ability is defensive in nature. He suffers. When defending, he can cancel crits before hits. So it's a little bit more difficult to get critical damage into Zeb. He has a tough exterior, which completely random. But they're finally coming out with a Zeb Black Series toy. Super excited about it.
Oh.
My daughter, like, I have a set of Rebels that I have, but I also have a set for her, and she's always asked, why don't I have a Zeb for my Rebels? And I just saw on my email yesterday that it's coming out. So any other Black Series collectors out there, Zeb Aurelios coming to a shelf near you.
Very cool. I'm also kind of surprised that Ben doesn't have his S-foils closed, just to offer him potential boosting maneuverability, just to get early position, knowing that shots aren't happening in the first couple turns. I'm not sure if Ben and Steve ever faced off in this event or before, but one thing we did see from Steve is he's very careful with his Echo. He has Whisper normally within range to get a coordinate to adjust to Whisper. But he generally has kept his Echo back closer to his deployment area and utilizing them bank rolls to open up areas to where he needs to go if he needs to jump on something or escape something. Especially I would like the S-foils closed on Thane for this coming turn, because while you could just K-turn or Talon roll, that does limit his ability to go fast and still get actions if Whisper decides to jump in. So having a 2-turn or 3-turn with an additional boost to get back in line, looking in the same direction as Wedge and Nora would be more helpful.
Yeah, I mean, and then also because he doesn't have any coordinate in this list, there's no reason to have him prematurely closed. You know, you don't tip your hand until you actually want to boost.
Sure.
And you know what? And you know what cannot be understated is the fact that maybe he's like, you know what? I'm not going to flip it to boost until I actually need it because I don't want to forget. Just in case I have an engagement. Because I know, let's be honest in the chat, have you ever forgotten to have those S foils open when you've reached the engagement and you kind of go, you have that oh crap moment? Let me know right now. Admit it.
Oh, I'll admit it. Me. Oh, luckily, I had a T70. I had bullseye anyway.
Yeah, it worked out.
Accidentally right. I do like Echo going down here, or sorry, Whisper going down here. Let's see. We have probably an early usage of. So Echo went over the debris. I'm pretty sure Steve didn't want to have to use a collision detector this early, but he might. Yep. So ignoring that obstacle for this turn. Seeing some early pressure towards Echo's way. Now the shuttle is down and separated. He shouldn't have to take that stress though. Because collision detector.
Yeah, I think that's just a mistake on his part.
As I was saying anyway, before we had Echo go over that obstacle, then I like that Whisper is doing a maneuver to really go after Thane, who's out of position right now a little bit, doing the 4K to turn back around. Because Nora at this point either has to turn back in. Yeah, so now we got Wedge turning upwards. So this is definitely going to be a decision on Ben's part where he wants to go. But no matter which direction he decides to commit a majority of his ships, he's going to be out 1 or 2 ships in that. If he goes after Echo with more of his ships, Thane's not going to be able to help. If he goes after Whisper, Wedge is not in a good position to add that shot against Whisper. And Zeb does not have exactly the best maneuvers to turn his arc down at Whisper either. So Steve's in an early good position to get some pick damage and force decisions for Ben to make. Be curious to see what the shuttle decides to do when he decides to do either a 2-turn or a 1-bank coming up. I'm assuming probably a 1-bank so that he can still coordinate Whisper if necessary.
All right. A couple people asking about the loyalty points. They're set at an interval of every 20 minutes. If you're active in the chat today, you're getting 100 points for every 20 minutes you were watching.
We'll have to see what Steven decides to do with the Echo decloak. I'm going to guess to stay safe and keep distance. He does the 2 left backwards decloak and then the candy cane back in, forcing more of a commitment down to Echo and for Echo just to slip away the next turn.
Yeah, right now I think Whisper is the one I'm a little bit worried about because Ben has the most options to pounce over there. Obviously, the decloak to the left is covered, which means maybe you end up getting the candy cane. But that's where I'd be worried. Of course, you don't want to over pursue too much, but Whisper might be taking some fire next turn.
Yeah, I think though I'd expect Steven to do a right decloak and a 1-bank left back in. That sort of that shorter candy cane, or the not true full one, so that might be able to pick some damage on Thane or some ranged damage on Nora. He'll be backed up by Coordinate from the shuttle, so I think this generally has favored Steven so far. We'll have to see how much longer he can bait Echo, or use Echo as bait for Wedge, because as long as Whisper does that decloak right down the board, Wedge is not going to have a shot to help, and neither will Zeb likely. So it will just be Nora or Thane.
Yep. And just to clear up a couple of confusion issues in the chat, Echo does have Trick Shot, which is how she would get the 4th attack die. Ryan is aware this is not a first edition Phantom. I promise, he's got it.
Yes.
All right, so there is the decloak. Yep.
Might even see a 2-bank from the shuttle as well. They have those.
They do. 1 bank.
Just a 1 though.
Keep it cash.
Yeah.
Keep it cash.
The one thing I do like about this even more is that because more ships can turn towards Whisper and the shuttle's arc, if Ben bites in that bottom corner at Whisper, the shuttle's arc is going to be more relevant in the fight. Which normally, being a shuttle this far down the board, I would have been pretty concerned about that. But if the majority is down here, and if Ben decides Echo is just too squirrely to try and spend time on, he might just be making that turn down to Whisper, and then Echo can start shooting from behind.
Yeah, and also you can't understate the coordinate for the shuttle. Give some shenanigans there.
Whisper's got the tokens at this point, so passive sensors is pretty freed up to use with both of the green tokens that he needs, and then on top of that, if he feels that Whisper needs to barrel roll.
Because you can with Whisper end up getting the focus from the coordinate and then using passive sensors to have the lock and have that fully modified shot every turn. All right, so we got that 1 bank.
Using passive.
Remember, Palpatine is a force that can be used on any of your friendly ships. All right, so Thane looks like
Thane taking the 2 straight.
Just
likely have that
3.
shot and decides to take the focus. I'm moderately surprised he might have not decided to barrel roll.
Just to get out of the arc.
Yeah,
but I
because
mean,
my initial guess would be, Nora's a good shot right now, more likely to get Whisper that evade, which I think you go at, but Nora's probably not the ship you end up killing after this time.
So look at this. We have Wedge going out to the right side and taking Echo one-on-one here. So this is going to be 3 versus 1 die on Echo.
Man.
Might see some damage early.
Yeah. I just don't know if Wedge is going to be able to really chase Echo well enough.
All right, here we go.
Well, that's a pretty good start.
Yep, probably spend the focus while you can, because you know you're guaranteed to rip the shields off.
Got the evade, which is good. So shields off of Echo, but if Echo just gets okay damage in, I can just easily see Echo decloaking right forward and just zooming in and not allowing Wedge to help out. It's cutting back into the middle of the board.
Chat, I got it.
Whisper.
The chat's freaking out. 1 second, guys.
Oh, dice cam.
100 notifications. Dice. Why is this not?
Yep, looks like Whisper going into Nora, just making sure Whisper has a higher probability of gaining that. Oh no, going into Thane. Okay. Has the passive sensors lock. Reroll 3 hits, keeps all that red.
I think he's just trying
all the green and takes 2 damage. So 2 shields off of Thane early.
The idea going after Thane there might have been just to see if he can get him to spend the focus.
Yep, and he had to not take half points. Whisper, is that a may or a must for her to get her evade?
Darth Revan 1979. You don't have to be active to get points. You just get 50% less points. Only one hit.
There we go.
And safe.
So pretty safe. Pretty safe.
Thane taking an unmodified shot here. 3 dice.
Just 2.
With 2 evades out there.
With that stealth device.
Probably doesn't do anything.
Probably palp.
Yep, palp and spend
evade.
one of your 2 evades. All right.
Echo shooting back into Whisper, or shooting back into Wedge with the focus. That's a good question, Dion. That's the edge of the box.
It's not in the box. Johnny, ping the die.
There we go. So 1 into Wedge, and he'll be safe.
All right, so after that first engagement, we got a couple of ships almost at half points here. Wedge is hunting Echo, and you were mentioning earlier, Ryan, some of the difficulties that Wedge might have trying to track down Echo. Because he has to basically, Ben has to make the choice in guessing where this funky decloak is going to be. You do remember that collision detector is live. He still has one of his 2 charges left. And, I mean, Ben basically has to take the, best case scenario. I hope, where can Echo be that's going to threaten your other ships the most? And that's where you point Wedge in order to make sure that that he's covering you, but you also got to make sure that Wedge has a way to get back into the fight. So is the Talon roll the call versus a K-turn, we think?
I mean, we could even, if he's this dead set on making sure Wedge has a good shot on Echo with mods, we could see an early Leia usage.
That's very true.
And the 4K does open up more. I'm foreseeing Echo doing a forward. I would at least do a forward decloak, and then just try and zoom past Wedge. Utilize that rock to get past him and get back around and help shoot these other ships. If Echo does a left decloak towards Wedge, straight forward, and then a 2 or 3 turn, puts himself flanking Zeb. If he decides to decloak forward right, and then just does a 4 straight, going as fast as possible to get down and flank Nora, or just get away from Wedge, you're just finding ways to commit to the fight and get away from Wedge as best as you can.
Correct. I got to take a second and say thank you to Broad Cloak for donating 5 subs to the channel. Thank you so much. Also, somebody asked, "Where's Nick?" He got fired. I'm just kidding. He didn't get fired. He was.
It's very ominous that the day after the table flip incident, he's not here.
That's right. Who's Johnny? Johnny is a probationary member of the team. He's helping out here in place of Nick. So everybody say hi, Johnny. And if if Johnny screws up anything as big as Nick did, then we'll make a meme on him too. But right now, he's doing a good job.
What do we think Whisper's doing? Because Thane's probably just honestly does a 1 straight. It can barrel out. to get away, because Whisper doesn't have a 1 straight, obviously, either. So if Whisper decloaks down the board again, would have to do a 1 bank or a 1 turn. And if Thane does a maneuver that allows him to barrel out, I mean, we did see he didn't barrel out before. He might not have thought that would get him out of Whisper shot. It would have been close last turn. I wonder if the decloak back to the left fits and what that would help Whisper do, though. Could decloak back to the left up to get a coordinate from the shuttle, and then 1 bank to the right, basically trying to block Nora, because he's already not trying to shoot Nora. He's trying to get rid of Thane.
Right.
At this point. So he wants to probably mitigate as much as he can with Nora and stop her modified shots, because Whisper is moving before these I5s. So another part where my concern noted earlier was Zeb again is in a weird spot where he'll have very minimal moves that's going to allow him to complete a maneuver and get an action to support fire that is modded. And we see Echo doing that decloak past Wedge and probably zooming up the board. A straight decloak from Whisper. Could see a hard 1 at Thane maybe, or a 1 bank, or he can say, you know what, I am K-turning over this gas cloud and just getting behind my opponent's ships. Let's see if he goes for a coordinate here.
Mm-hmm.
If he's planning on the K-turn, I wouldn't be surprised if he coordinates a passive sensors. Or a barrel roll to not go over the gas cloud, but I'm not sure how necessary that would be. Because he'll just be able to recloak next turn and move around that gas cloud. As long as he gets the action from the coordinate, it's not a big deal.
Right. Well, remember, he can't take the passive sensors as a coordinate. It's on the card. Can't do that.
Oh, I thought you could coordinate an action. It wouldn't have to be on the bar.
But it's passive sensors itself that disables it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you can't be coordinated passive.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think it has a text, something like that.
He coordinated the cloak action to Whisper. Interesting. That is taking his gun out of that fight. Going for a 3 straight with Echo.
All right, so Echo getting aggressive. That's what I thought. Like, I wondered if Echo would be in a spot to get a shot here. So we'd probably be firing. That's the reason why. He's going through the cloud. He wants that additional dice.
He takes the strain.
He does.
I just don't know what's going to be shooting at Echo for why he would, or was shooting to Whisper why he would decloak, though I feel like he's kind of leaving his shuttle in the dust here. Granted, he is working at getting behind them, but Leia already allows him an easy way to get behind ships, or turn around on ships.
What is Wedge doing? Man, a three turn around that rock's looking real good right now.
2 or 3. Nora here. Nora only has a back arc shot at Echo. Does not have that front at the shuttle. Wow, he really committed down to Whisper over in that corner.
He did. Mind you, this does give...
Wedge just doing a 1 straight. Wow. He slipped him pretty hard this round.
Wedge is going to be out of the fight for a little bit. You know what? The next turn, though, we will see some turnaround maneuvers from Wedge and Nora most likely. The advantage with Nora's position, and it does open up the K turn for next turn.
I think Nora's K turn puts her off the board.
It's a 4K, right?
It's a 4.
Hit crit here.
It's a medium base, though, too. Echo probably using Palp. Yep.
Safe.
Thane going at the shuttle. Range 3. pretty good.
And he's good.
Shuttle evades 1, so 2 shields off the shuttle.
Oh man, the thickness of the small base ship. All right, Echo's gonna have that shot on Nora.
Yep, Nora probably is range 1, so he'll add an evade. There's the 1 evade he's already adding there for being range 1 of the shuttle. He rolls another. So Nora untouched. Zeb will have a shot. Zeb with 1. Shuttle takes 1 more. And the only thing I mean, you always gotta be careful of the K turns for when you want to do them on Phantoms, but this 3 bank on Whisper, let's see what he does next turn. Shuttle with hit at crit, gonna do a damage to Nora at least. Just 1 though. I'm curious, since he was only 1 health away from Thane, why he didn't attempt to shoot at Thane anyway.
Right.
I think the math might work out that even though you have 3 agility with a focus, Nora's focus with a guaranteed evade, it's probably very similar odds on doing the same amount of damage. So I'm curious to see where Whisper goes. He's not exactly in a spot to... I mean, my guess is it's a decloak left and Candy Cane down right and start working his way behind Thane.
Mm-hmm.
Wedge is very out in spots. Curious to see how Echo decides to decloak. We may see another aggressive forward decloak from Echo to even just force Zeb into a bump.
I think you need to flip that Leia, do a Talon roll with Wedge, just to get turned around with a boost. The 2-turn boost, I guess, actually can put you in a very similar position. But I think
2 or 3-turn barrel roll.
Yeah, I don't. But I feel like the action is moving towards that. I gotta make sure my screen is oriented the same way as the stream. Like that bottom left-hand corner. I feel like that's where we're gonna end up. And the 2-turn, yeah, because of the I don't know if you'd be able to boost because of the debris. Yeah, I'm Team Talon roll. Team Talon roll.
Okay.
That's what I want to see. I don't know if he's willing. And here's one of the things that I'm always curious to see is how aggressive are people with using those Leia charges. Because with 40 minutes left, you need 3 turns to get it back. You'd probably, if you used it now, you'd be able to use it 1 more time later, most likely. So, like, is this the time?
I think Wedge is so out of position because he decided to just do the 1 straight last turn that it may just be worth doing that.
Yep.
Do we think Steven's can do anything with the shuttle fancy to provide blocks? Is it worth doing a 1 or 2 bank into the board edge to 2-turn out next turn since he won't be stressed? Unless he takes a panic pilot, which means the shuttle would literally probably be dead because he'd end up flying off the board.
Right.
Oh, that's right. Echo does have collision detector.
That's
that is
right.
a nice decloak right behind Zeb. I'm expecting a one bank behind Zeb and just follow it up.
He actually did not use the collision detector. He didn't need to roll
for that, actually.
He didn't use a collision detector.
No, but it's after you move through overlap. It's when you booster barrel, you can move through and overlap obstacles. Since it's not a maneuver, I don't think you have to actually roll for that. But I'll definitely be really curious to see what Steven does with his shuttle here. He could just do a 1 straight and just say, you know what, I'm bumping. He is doing the 1 bank. This will block up a lot of spaces for Nora and Thane to go. Might be taking the gun out, but definitely clogging up area. Zeb just doing the 1.
He may have just forgotten to flip the charge. Still trying to figure out the...
He might not have used Leia yet.
Yeah.
He's barrel rolling with Zeb, which is interesting because I don't see Echo moving that forward straight. He did do the 2 straight with Echo, so Echo will not have an action. There's the 1 hard from Whisper. I'm assuming we'll see a passive sensor usage. It's very unlikely that Whisper will be shot this turn. Oh, the 2 turn from Nora does fit. Probably still gets shot by the shuttle. Thane just takes a bump. And Nora will not have a shot onto Whisper to try and help Thane. Really surprised Echo didn't do the 1 bank, because Echo is not getting a shot this turn either. It's 2 turn from Wedge. He did flip the S-foil, so he had that open to him. He's doing a focus boost if that fits. It does. Wow, that was tight. Wedge doing the obstructed shot, range 3. So it'll just be 3 dice from Echo defensively. Echo safe. Another key part about this turn is we're probably going to see Thane go down below half. Echo or Whisper does have outmaneuver active.
Okay, I was just double checking all of the collision detector shenanigans stuff. So if you don't spend the charge, you still have to roll, but collision detector does let you barrel roll, which that's what a decloak is, through obstacles.
Looks like it's range 2 to Thane. So 3-on-1 without maneuver. This could be really dangerous for Thane.
Here we go. Hit,
With
crit.
No mods needed.
Whisper had him.
Takes hit, crit.
We'll find out what the crit is here. It is a disabled power regulator.
That's bad. Because he is not engaged yet.
So he's going to be ionized next turn. For sure.
See, this is Nora rear arc into the shuttle. Got a focus for 3. Shuttle's taking some heat.
And
we'll take
taking
3 on
all
behalf
of
of
them.
the shuttle.
The shuttle does have a shot back.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it's not at Thane though.
Yeah, oh yeah, you would love to have that follow-up shot.
Oh yeah.
So 4 dice coming in from the shuttle. Does have a focus. 4 hits. You're gonna get at least 2. Wait, what? What? He didn't spend the focus that he has there?
I don't know if he realized. Oh wait, why are those crits? Did he take a crit from Nora?
Thane ability.
Oh, that was Thane's shot. And now that was Nora's shot.
Got
but
it.
It shouldn't have been 4. I'm not following.
I think he shot... Oh, they're both 5s. I was thinking Nora's a 4. I'm not confused anymore. I got it.
Oh, okay. So sorry. Nora shot first,
Yep.
then Thane shot with 4.
Yes.
That was the 4. This is Zeb shooting at the shuttle with nothing. All right. So now we're down to the shuttle. Yeah, we got it. We're good. He flipped up blinded pilots, so he will not be able to use his focus offensively, but he does still have Palpatine.
Palpatine. He's got... So the evade is already in there using Nora's ability. Oh, safe. It does not matter.
He's got Palpatine.
But he automatic evade from Nora.
Didn't he have 1 damage in that roll as well?
Yeah, but automatic
Player
evade
rolled
from...
3 dice. The player rolled 4 dice, got 2 eyes. Oh, it was 2 eyes. I thought it was a hit and a eyeball.
Yeah, 2...
Well, sad. Thane should have a disabled power regulator. He needs an ion.
Yep. I'm sure they'll get it in a second.
Yep.
Hey, Johnny, go ahead and just do the tab arrow on the disable power regulator.
I think they're getting it now.
Perfection.
The crit token, and he engaged after he got that.
Yep. Yeah, just go ahead, grab the ion token and put it next to him and ping that.
So I'm going to very much assume to help get rid of that strain, Whisper decloaks to her left and 2 banks. Try and help finish off Thane.
Yes, Zeb did shoot, he whiffed on his attack.
Yeah, Zeb whiffed.
So Wedge is coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, the fastest
he's
he can...
stressed, so he's limited on some maneuvers and how fast he can go.
So 2 bank, essentially.
To see... Yeah, pretty much 2 bank. Because I don't think he wants to use boost. I'm curious to see what Echo decides to do. Because now Wedge is coming again.
Wedge is gonna get it. It depends if he wants to be offensive or defensive. I could definitely see the decloak right into the bottom, like behind. Mm-hmm. And then you bank, and that might actually, depending on if Wedge did something like a 2 forward, you would have him in arc, or at least it would set you up behind Wedge.
Because Echo's gonna have 3 ships shoot before her.
Oh, let's go ahead and find out.
She wants to limit how many of those, how much of Wedge, Nora, and Thane can shoot at her.
Oh,
so
okay. We're going somewhere else. All right.
I think he's gonna use collision detector for this round. Yep.
The collision has been detected.
So he's out of collision detector now. For the charge purposes, he can still decloak and barrel roll through them.
Mm-hmm. Whisper also going decloak. That way.
Again, highly expecting that 2 bank to help clear up that strain. Curious to see how the shuttle goes if he decides to just doing the 1 bank. Okay. Getting in Thane's way. I wouldn't be surprised if Thane just bumps himself onto Nora first so he doesn't bump into the shuttle. So he can still shoot at the shuttle.
I'm not in love with the shuttle move. I wish he would have banked towards the top of the board. I know that you're not going to get an action, but you would have had an opportunity to possibly get a shot. But I guess the shuttle does only have 2 health. I guess. What was the action that it took? Or did it bump?
It bumped.
It bumped anyway?
1 bank was a bump. Yep.
Sad.
Passive sensors. That's kind of aggressive, but Whisper is shooting first and is far away from Wedge.
All right, Nora coming up.
Nora. Nora will have a shot into Whisper. That did not bump.
What?
That is so tiny.
All right,
he did not bump.
We'll go to the table cam. Close one.
So Whisper is gonna do what she can.
Is Thane gonna barrel roll? Barrel.
Oh, Wedge boosted. That's kind of surprising because he still has a shot at Echo. Okay. Could definitely see Nora trying to shoot at Echo as well. Echo's only on 3 health.
We got to say something here, Ryan. I think the not barrel rolling with Thane's a little greedy. Why would you give up your ship? You're just giving Whisper that shot.
You mean Echo? Because I'm pretty sure if he barrel rolls, he's still getting shot by Whisper.
I mean, Echo. Sorry.
Yeah. I actually think.
Oh, he was ionized. He had no choice. He had no choice. He had to go one forward.
Yeah. Did Echo take any damage from Wedge? It doesn't look like it. So Whisper doing passive sensors, which is weird because he already had the lock. He could have focused. He misplayed that.
Yep, there's one there already. He's reacquired his lock.
That was unnecessary. Could have definitely focused. Would have been a much better round for efficiency and tokens available. Went into autopilot mode probably a little bit. So outmaneuver onto Thane again. But I believe it's range 3. So it'll be 3 on 2.
And one of each.
Got passive sensors. You're only gonna be able to turn one of them over because of Fifth Brother.
And got it.
He got it. So I assume he'll spend. You gotta spend it. Thane should only be rolling 2.
Yeah, they'll go ahead and redo that here in a sec.
All right, so re-roll that. Didn't have to spend the focus anyway.
Same deal.
Same result. Hull breach.
We have yet to see that Leia trigger. Maybe it'll be next turn for Thane. Since he gets to live. Maybe.
Ben says 1 sec. I don't know why.
I don't know. I noticed his ping went really high for a second on TTS. Maybe his computer is doing something weird. All right, here we go. Thane Tyrell. 4 dice into the shuttle. That's a dead shuttle. You spend the focus.
He doesn't have to spend the focus. He could use Thane's ability, but should just kill it. Shuttle gets an evade, but that'll be the last 2. So that does open up Nora's shot to shoot at something else.
It looks like Nora does have that angle to get into Echo.
Echo. Yup. Because Echo definitely wants to be able to use shots to kill Thane. Right. 2 into Echo. Easy.
Natties, baby.
Squiggles.
All right.
Oh,
Echo's
going into Thane?
Hasn't gotten a shot yet, so
Thane didn't spend his focus offensively, so that'll be a focus spend, and that'll be a dead Thane.
Rip. Let's get some F's in the chat for Palpatine and for Thane. F's in the chat, please.
So obviously, killing Thane and Palp Shuttle gone. We have Ben still has the lead, but Echo is only 1 more health to being halved. So that is something Steven has to be very conscious of. At this point in the game, 25 minutes left. It's probably best to leave Nora alone. Move around her as best you can. Probably not going to be able to do a ton of damage at the current situation. The goal is probably to avoid Wedge where possible, especially for Echo. And then utilize Whisper and maybe that gas cloud up top. See if you can get some opportunity shots onto Zeb. Initiative killing is a big bonus for that, and Zeb does only have 4 health with 2 agility. Nora does not have the ability to do a K-turn this round, so she is very likely going to be out of the fight unless she does a 1 straight and then shoots out the rear arc.
How much bigger is a medium base than a small base? It's like it's not 2 base lengths, right?
1.5.
1.5. Yeah, that's just short. It's just short. If Nora was a small base ship, she would make this K turn here.
Probably.
Well, yeah, because so if you look down the line, the front. So let's see. Do I have a second here? So if you're a small base ship, you know that rock that was set across was set at 2-2, range 2, and that's the length of 5 straight. So a 4K turn plus a small base equals 5. So then you would end up fitting here. But because the medium bases are just a little too thick, it won't make it. So sad.
I'm pretty confident that will not make it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty confident we won't know, because I don't think Ben's willing to make that attempt.
Risk? Maybe. This is a tight game, though. 54-48 right now.
Yeah, he's ahead, and he's got Wedge in a position to get Echo to half. So we'll see if Echo tries to hide behind some cloud cover here, or what I thought he might do is move into Wedge. So we could definitely see Echo. All Echo's trying to do is to stay tight around Wedge and probably do a 1 turn right next to him and just make sure Wedge will not get a shot onto Echo by staying really close. There's Zeb. So Whisper will have to move before Nora, so we'll have to see if Whisper went for a candy cane. There's that 1 turn. So all Steve has to do is see if he believes that 1 straight would fit or not. If he doesn't believe it fits, you just barrel roll and make it closer.
That's right.
That'll guarantee it. That Wedge will not be able to shoot onto Echo this turn. 1 turn with Whisper. Probably blocking most maneuvers that Nora's going to do besides the 2 turn.
Marsh Glyph.
Just taking the focus. No passive sensors. Staying defensive. Whisper has yet to take any damage. And Nora does bump. So that stealth device is active. Wedge hopping over.
It's just... Does he have range 3 there?
I think so. It's close. And it's actually to Whisper's advantage at this point to... so it's going to be 3-on-3. If Wedge feels like he has to spend the focus offensively to get the shot through, I think he's willing to spend the evade defensively if he knows Wedge is using the focus. So
all right, we got hit crit going into Whisper. 2 evades. Just roll them.
So the question is, do you start seeing if you can go into Zeb, or do you go into Wedge? He's got to be able to follow up on shots as well. You pull away the focus off of Zeb potentially. Make that shot back less dangerous. It's going to be 3-on-3 no matter what.
I think the greed will probably say Wedge. I think the math is Zeb, though.
We'll see. We're not sure who he's shooting at. We'll see depending on damage and token spending. So it's 2, so
1
whoever
damage.
it's taking 1, and it's Wedge.
Wedge.
Yeah,
Obviously,
half points on Wedge is let's see, is half points on Wedge more than half points on Echo? No. still needs to do what he can to keep Echo in the game.
All right, here is
And
Zeb's
above
shot
half.
from range 3 with a focus. Let's see if that focus ends up mattering. Nope.
Does
2
not.
hits.
A whole lot of not focus spending this turn
Yeah.
for the Rebel team. And Whisper will just spend Fifth Brother.
Mm-hmm. They never had to spend that force.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Whisper still active with Stealth Device. Nora in a weird spot again, because I'm going to assume that Steven will probably do a similar maneuver he did with Echo and go with a tight decloak towards Wedge and get close again. And Nora's 2-turn or 3-turn will not give him the shot he would need after Whisper performs a maneuver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing we got to keep an eye on, Steven did miss the Whisper trigger again. It didn't matter in the end, but just for us, just to keep an eye on it.
Yep. I've been trying to keep an eye on that too.
Remember, everybody, we're going to be live all the way to the final today. So make sure you guys stick around. Give him a warning. Nah, I'm good.
That's a bit much. So it's going to be interesting to see what Steven decides to do with Echo. While it could be, most people would think a no-brainer move to do a bank left back and then K turn to get behind. He's got to remember that Leia is still active, and at any point, if he wants to pull the trigger, if Ben expects Wedge or Whisper to go tight in again, like Echo did on Wedge and Zeb, he could dial in the 4Ks this turn to both turn at Echo and an expected closing in Whisper.
This is true, but we haven't seen Ben use that Leia yet, and we're getting into the. I feel like Rebel players who get to use Leia like twice a game, that's where that value really sits. But one time, obviously, if it's the opportune time, if it works out, it's great. But we haven't seen him use it, and there's been a couple situations where he could have made plays. And also, I guess you can't downplay the fact that just having Leia around is a threat. All right, here we go. We got that first decloak.
Yep. And he'll roll, as we found out, he'll roll for the strain for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming he's doing a
Takes
one
it.
hard.
Yeah, that's candy cane territory for sure.
Yep. That's a good move. Puts him so his arc will be past it, but he will have to deal with the loss of agility. We didn't see a Leia trigger, so he knows that in the system phase, he's decloaking with the knowledge that Leia is not used this round.
All right.
Interesting. He committed hard down there. Thinking maybe Whisper was going to be in this area and decloak down this way. We'll have to see if Wedge... I assume Wedge probably still just did a 1 straight, but depending on the banking maneuver of Whisper might juke out Wedge with this.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see... Oof. All right, well, there's the hard turn from Echo. Has a focus.
Ooh. Leaving the blind side of Wedge. That's interesting.
Wedge can get a good shot here, man. If he did something like a 3 hard and maybe covered both sides of the corner, could be...
He's keeping Nora bumped, though. That's really good. The Wedge shot will be in play, but it's only the single shot going in on Whisper. That's actually really close if Wedge has that shot. He barreled out of Echoes, and he's not going to get a shot onto Whisper. I mean, he is still in the lead, but this is kind of turning into a slow bleed here of the Phantoms picking off these ships. I might start shooting at Zeb, because at least both Phantoms have that shot. Granted, if you can get the two more to get half onto Wedge right now, that's still valuable. See,
and that is a focus result.
shot.
And using the fifth brother to make it into a crit, safe.
Yep. So that was Wedge because he had outmaneuver on both ships. If it was on to Zeb, it would be 1 dice. So I kind of wish he would have went to Zeb maybe, because I think they both have that shot, and the outmaneuver would have triggered, forcing probably a very likely spending of an evade token on a single result. 2 coming into Zeb, and he'll be safe.
Spend the evade. There it is.
I think the combined fire on Zeb, because you need to do 2 damage to get half on a Zeb, or 2 damage to get half on a Wedge. Either way.
But with the evade token on Zeb, it's easier to get that damage into the Wedge if you can get it these next couple turns. You got 13 minutes left. It's probably about 2 turns.
Mm-hmm.
And Zeb's going into the corner, and that's a scary place. Scary place for any ship. You start limiting the amount of maneuverability you got, less open space. Because right now I feel like you're kind of telegraphing the fact that you're. Where else do you have to go but the corner? I mean, I guess you can try to hard turn to the left, but that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, Steve's done a very good job at limiting where Nora can go. And still at this point, she cannot do it. She probably will not fit a 4K on that corner, so she's got to do another banker turn maneuver. And if I were to make a guess, that this is a really good turn to pounce onto Wedge's position, because Zeb is not going to be able to do a lot here. We might see a Leia usage, because Zeb's hard turn is red for the 1. Try to do a 1 hard turn and barrel roll back in to block Whisper engaging into Wedge and allowing Wedge to still do a Talon roll, a white Talon roll to look at Echo. It would put Whisper in the blinds, or give Whisper the outmaneuver blind side into Wedge, but it would be unmodified if Whisper bumps into Zeb.
Completely off topic. It was a couple people in the chat asking for a Squiggles shirt. They want some Squiggles. They want to wear some Squiggles. Yeah.
I'm gonna guess Echo decloaks right back and just giving distance behind Wedge. Probably a right back decloak with a 1 bank left.
There, Leia.
Oh, here we go.
What's the move, fam?
Well, so now he know this is, I don't know if I like that move from Echo. I don't know. 'Cause you're just pointing at Nora now, and that's not getting you anything.
This might be defensive. The choice might be defensive, though, when you see that Leia trigger. Maybe he had two different places.
Very true. Very true. If he dialed in the 1 banker 1 turn to the right anyway, he's going to have cloud coverage. He did get to see what Leia did first. There's that 1 turn from Zeb. There's the barrel roll. A 2 straight might not get blocked. It's a very close line. It should, though, I think.
And that is a linked action there for Zeb.
Yep. Echo doing a 2 bank to the right. Echo keeping distance from Wedge is still a good move here. Ooh.
All right, Whisper takes the block. Can Wedge take advantage of it? This could be huge.
We'll have to see if Wedge went for a Talon or what he decided to do. Nora will have that extra defense dice.
And finally gets an action after a while.
Oh, hi there, Wedge. Oh, so he's doing the Talon roll, and he's seeing if there's anywhere it can fit. And it will not fit anywhere. So we'll have an unmodified Wedge shot going into Whisper, but Whisper will have that shot back.
That's right. I mean, on average, he's doing 1 damage here, so might have something.
Yep, he will. He does still have stealth device, so it is still going to be 2, and Wedge will have 4. I'm pretty sure he's very okay with spending both. Oh, is he shooting an Echo? He's trying to get that last point into Echo. That's interesting. He had the target
Had the lock. 3 hits. This could do it.
But he can spend the focus and
the
gas
evade.
cloud.
Oh yeah, focus gas cloud. He's safe. Yep.
Yeah, focus gas cloud.
Man, with those, I mean, obviously hindsight, but with those 3 hits, you could have gotten half points on Whisper.
Whisper's defense dice were solidly modified though, and obviously he didn't have a mod. Oof. That's a hit crit into wedge.
That's half
And
points.
that's half. Crit number 1. Flip the crit first. Wounded.
And weapons failure.
That's a big deal.
That's a sad wedge.
All right, we'll see if Nora can follow up here. Maybe get that half points onto Echo.
And it's going to be 2. Echo does have an evade. Oh.
Squiggles. I mean, he would have been willing to spend that evade, but oh boy. Echo shooting back.
Yep, Echo's follow-up
It's a shot. Double crit.
Nora gets the automatic evade, and we're going to have that other die thrown in there as well.
She'll take a hit. 1 shield.
You know what? One thing I find very interesting, Ryan, is that I have many times said the word squiggles, and for whatever reason, people like when you say it, and it's like caught on in the chat. I think they just realized, like, oh, there's this word that exists.
Well, I think it might have started yesterday with the triple IGs, because I was just like, IG squiggles.
True.
I don't know.
I've been literally saying squiggles, almost for years, and now. I know. I just find it really funny. It's like the chat noticed this word. Thank you for bringing the word to light. It's a great word. Squiggles. It's amazing.
Hey, you know what one of my favorite words is? Conundrum.
Ooh, that is a good word.
I think it's a good one. It's a good word. And I think the Rebel player is in a conundrum right now. Zeb has not many places to go with stress. Leia is now gone, so Nora does not have that 4K open if he felt the need to, but he'd have to kind of figure out where Echo's going. Whisper obviously needs to figure out what they want to do, because I mean, you want to take Wedge's gun still off the board. It's a shot that's guaranteed to go off every turn because it's I6, but you don't want to overcommit to that because now Steven has the lead with 6 minutes remaining.
Now, one thing that a couple people are talking about in the chat, which honestly we missed, but at this point, like, when they made the mistake, it didn't. I don't want to say it didn't matter, but so the system phase happens before activation, and Leia is at the start of activation. So the decloaks should have happened before the Leia got triggered. But again, as soon as the intent for the Leia was said, it basically was too late. Yeah, I guess he could have chosen not to do it after doing the decloaks, but the ships were already in place. Yeah.
Going that way. So I'm going to guess Echo is going to play the chase me game now. If he's committed that way, he is fine with the points he has gained, and he is playing defensive. Yep, Whisper going there. Maybe K turning, because pretty open to doing so, just to put pressure in shots, because that 1 turn would just bump into Wedge. Zeb just taking that focus, but Zeb being there and not barrel rolling does tell Steven that Wedge only has certain maneuvers he can do. It's likely Wedge does a 3 bank.
3 bank for the win.
Echo will not have any sort of cloud coverage here, so probably just tokens up and stays as defensive as possible, or takes the cloak now. We do have that.
There you go. So we'll have
Won't have
4 dice and an evade available.
I don't know if I like both of them leaving. You're still only 1 health away from losing the game. If he gets that 1 health, you got to turn back around.
Yep, that is super risky. Well, I mean, you just said it there, Ryan. I don't know if he has the time to run around to get back around. Wedge fits the 3 bank.
Mm-hmm.
I think
probably go for a target lock.
I think he's out of range. I think you have to barrel roll.
To guarantee it with a barrel roll.
Far forward. Oh, he's got it. I was wrong.
I mean, he didn't take an action.
Oh.
Didn't matter.
I mean, if he would have taken a target lock.
Yep.
Oh no, he flipped the weapons failure for his action.
Oh,
weapons failure.
Yep,
weapons failure.
Yep. That would matter. He needs to put damage through. There's Nora with 3.
There's Nora.
Like, you got to be able to turn back around if you need to get points again.
And that's it right there. Half points.
That's half points. So now he needs to bring Whisper back in, and being where Whisper is, I didn't like counting on that at all.
So yeah, Echo takes 1 hull damage there, and now Ben is ahead 85 to 76 with essentially 1 turn left.
Yeah, he needed to, I think, do a K turn to put and threaten that kill shot onto Wedge. Because he needs to do either 2 to Wedge or 2 to Zeb, and either shot would have been helpful to try and push it so that in case Echo did take that 1 damage, he'd have a way to claw back. But being where Whisper is, you're not going to be able to cloak very easily. Wounded Pilot should allow you... No, so Wedge might be stressed. Wedge is stressed.
Mm-hmm.
You had to do that trigger.
I mean, that's fine. Wedge has already given up the half points. You just play conservative right now.
I mean, at this point... well, here's the other part. The players may not know the score.
That's very... Like, this happens very often.
Yes, Steven probably felt pretty confident about the score differential, but I still think with 1 health on Echo... So Whisper's basically got to decloak up the board as far back as he can and 1 hard. Just to potentially shoot at a chasing Wedge or Nora. If Ben knows the score, he knows he doesn't have to chase Echo anymore.
I wonder what the maneuvers here are going to be. Like, if you're aware of the score, you can send Nora in with little fear. Let's see where the decloak here. It's going to the right.
Yeah. Candy cane there is not bad.
Yeah, he's just anticipating a ship.
He might be going for like a 2 bank or a 3 turn right in front of that obstacle because he has trick shot.
Maybe.
I don't know why he would give himself a cloak back. He has to be an evade. What is happening? Oh, is he taking it back? I'm confused.
Yeah, undo.
Oh, is it because he did he have to spend his evade defensively last turn? Did he not have the cloak?
No, he was cloaked.
Here.
He was cloaked that turn. That was his action. He was just changing the angle. That's all it was.
Okay. Yep. My guess is Whisper's going to have to do a 1 turn and barrel as far forward as possible just to get potential shots. Zeb leaving.
Zeb, nope. No, thank
Wedge
you.
could easily just turn and leave. Like Ben apparently knows the score too. Nora.
That's a really aggressive move, but
I don't know why he hit
might have just
undo for that.
Wrong order.
Oh, because Echo had to go first. That's a little bit extra information for Echo. That actually tells him that Nora's going to be able to be shot with a trick shot. Barrel's far forward. You just got to get shots now.
Will the Rebellion
you're
win?
A little bit of information to where Nora is, but you can. I don't know if you can guarantee that range 3 is going to hit to Nora.
I agree. Here is, we have the one turn from Whisper, then barrel rolling to the right.
I mean,
man, if Ben revealing that dial early hurts him, that he's gonna be sad because you know. Now you know that Nora is attainable.
Nora does not have range 1.
Nope.
That's a trick shot Echo.
And with a, I mean,
Whisper's gonna have a shot.
Yep.
That actually, and Nora's taken 2 already. Only need 3 more to get half onto Nora. This is definitely not over.
Wedge, you got to go in.
Wedge probably focusing or target locking to see if he can kill Echo beforehand. Take some of that modifications off. If this is last turn, Echo should be spending its evade before it spends a focus defensively.
Yep.
You need the firepower to shoot at Nora.
Took a focus on Wedge. If you get 3, you go ahead and spend it.
Got nothing.
Got nothing. Never mind.
Never mind.
Well, maybe what this does is if Steven gets a little distracted here, he could end up not realizing that he should shoot both into Nora. You know, if he ends up splitting his fire.
We'll see. Depends on what Whisper does. To
Hit
hit crit in Nora is range 3 without maneuver, so he will take a shield. So he only needs to do 2 to Nora right here. He's got the trick shot. It's either 3 on 3 and a Wedge to do 2, or 3 or 4 on 2 into Nora to do 2. I think you got to go Nora. I think he's checking what the half point threshold needs to be, and it is he needs to get 2. Yep, here's the 4 dice trick shot.
Here we go. This could be for the game right here.
Oh, okay, so it's 3. Nora needs to generate 1.
Natties.
Oh, the crit though. Crit though.
That's true. That's true.
Blinded.
Blinded pilot. Almost coughed it up right there. All right. Well, congratulations to Ben for winning the game. Steven Sesnick takes the L, but did make the top 16. Great play from both. Awesome lists.